Alright, so I just wanted to make another video because I do have another update. So on today is Saturday, June 2nd, and I had on Wednesday about 6:45 on May 30th I received a job offer for a CCA position, which I accepted. This actually wasn't the job I interviewed for when I made my original video. I interviewed for that job on May 17th. The position I got the offer in, I interviewed exactly 1 week later on the 24th. So I was offered this specific job 6 days after I interviewed, for timeline purposes, to go all the way back. This job I actually applied to on May 4th. So it took about 3 weeks to get an interview, and then after the interview I was offered 6 days later. So all in all, it did take under a month technically. It took about it took about, I don't know, 3.5 weeks, so a little under a month, basically a month, a little under. But yeah, so real excited about it, super pumped, can't wait to get going. But to rewind it, I actually so I got that offer on Wednesday night, and then on Friday, yesterday, I actually got offered the other job that I first interviewed with, that I made my last YouTube video about, was that interview, which I did get a job offer for that. I did decline it, obviously, since I accepted the other one. I wanted to decline it quick, so they could offer someone else, get someone else in there, that kind of thing. Between the two offices, they were actually really close to each other, about 15 minutes away, both bigger offices, but I went with the second, the one I accepted is the one I wanted, because it's about 15 minutes closer to where I live. It's going to be about a 35-minute commute, whereas the other one would have been about 50 minutes. So, I'd take any save time I can get. So that's, the main reason why I wanted the other one. So thankfully, that job offer came in first. If the other one that was a little farther away would have came in first, I probably would have accepted eventually, but I would have probably done it right at the end where my time was about to expire. Because you, at least in my case, you got 7 days. 7 days to accept the position if offered. So I was gonna, if that was the only offer I got, I was gonna accept it in 6 days. I was gonna pretty much hold out until the end in hopes that the other one would come through. But the other one I wanted came through first anyway, so it ended up working itself out. So I actually already did the drug test. I did the drug test the very next day because I was offered the job on Wednesday night, and I actually had another interview for another CCA position on Thursday. So I had already taken the day off from work so I could go to that interview. But since I got offered the job, when I woke up in the morning, I emailed the postmaster of that office and, told them, the night before I had accepted a job, so I would not be attending my interview. And they were cool with it. They were like, congrats, great job getting the job, kind of thing. So that was cool. But yeah, I went and took the drug test the very next day. Since I already had the day off work, I figured might as well get it done, as quickly as possible so the next process can start going. So also, right after I accepted the job, I had to fill out some background information on that GIS, social security number, previous jobs, previous addresses of the last 5 years, which I only have one other one, so that was no big deal. But yeah, that's about it. So now hopefully sometime this coming week before Friday, I'll get at least a start date. I don't know if the start date will be, it could be a month from now for all I know. I don't know, but I would like to at least get an email so I know everything's good. I'm officially in. I just got to attend orientation. So once I get a start date from that, I'll probably update that in the description. Other than that, I also want to mention with the drug test, based on my address, I had 4 options to go to take the drug test. I ended up having to drive 40 minutes for the drug test, which was actually the closest of the 4 options it gave me. The other 3 options were all over an hour and a half drive away. So I guess I lucked out in the sense that I only had to go to one 40 minutes away, because I could have ended up driving an hour and a half, which would have kind of sucked just for a drug test. I don't know why there weren't more options for it, but I guess it was only 40 minutes, so it's not a huge deal. Drug test was real easy. I got there pretty close to when they opened. I only had to wait like 20 minutes before getting called back. From when I got called back to walked out the door, it took 5 minutes, so it was a real smooth and easy process. So next step is just waiting for that orientation start date, so I'm real excited. Can't wait. I know a lot of people who have been in the job say it sucks. They say it's tough, which, you know, I believe it, but I feel like this job is something that will really fit my personality type. I don't know. I just obviously haven't worked in the position yet, but I just feel like it's really going to fit me really well. So we will see. What I'll probably do is after I get done with the orientation, I think you do like a 5-day orientation, then like a 2 or 3 day driver's kind of training thing with the LLVs, and then you like ride along for 2 or 3 days. Again, I don't know for sure, but it's something along those lines. But once I go through all of that, I will make another update video just to kind of tell y'all how it went. If you guys are applying for jobs too, best of luck with those. I also, if you want to check out my last videos talking about the actual interview and then my 473 test exam, check those out. But other than that, any questions, just let me know.